Welcome back into another live edition of the Danny Sancomb Show. I'm back on the show this week after missing last week, and a coach called me out a little bit about it, but back from swimming championships, had a great week there. Great performance under first coach April Gitson, but we're here to talk about Vulcan basketball today, so I'd like to welcome in Coach Danny Sancomb.
It's good to have you back. Glad you made it.
Yeah, it seemed like Matt filled in pretty well for me, so we're in good shape now. So, Coach, let's just dive right into Wednesday's game against Seton Hill. Home game there, 82-69 win for the team. You know, early in that game, you kind of, in the early about 3 minutes of that game, teams were kind of just trading points back and forth, but your team ends up mounting a 14-0 run to really stretch the lead to 20-6. Is that the time you really felt the offense started getting into a rhythm?
Yeah, we moved the ball well. We took good shots, and we were able to make them just with good ball movement, good hard cuts. So, and our defense started to get better as the half went on as well. But we executed very well in the first half on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, Coach. I mean, team had 4 players scoring the final 4 minutes. You end up going into halftime with a 46-27 lead, and then you come out on fire in the second half, make your first 6 shots of the game, stretch the lead to 61-39 with about 14 minutes to go. Strong into the first half, and then strong start to the second half for the team.
Yeah, you know, it's just about execution. You know, we wanted to jump on them coming at our place. We thought last time we played them, we played really well in the first half, and we were able to kind of put the game away, and we were able to get a good first half. And like I think the first 3 or 4 minutes of the second half, we got off to a good start, and we started to fade a little bit though as the game went on, but we did enough to win the game, and it was a good contribution. We were down shorthanded a little bit that game with Zion missing due to a concussion, and Baba with his tendonitis in his knee, and then we had Tim hurt his knee a little bit into the second half. So you know, we were really short-manned, and a lot of other guys picked up for us and gave us productive minutes.
Yeah, Coach, I mean, you talked about your team fading a little bit at the end there. I mean, Vulcans hold a 72-45 lead with about 8 minutes to go. And then the Griffins ends up getting that lead all the way down to about 11 points in the closing minute with a 13-0 run. I mean, what were the thoughts about it? Do you attribute that to having less guys, or what happened there at the end?
It's just execution and focus. When you're young, you know, I try to tell we try to tell our guys every play is so important, and you have to play a 40-minute game. Sometimes you got to play a 45-minute game. But you got to play for 40 minutes, and if you don't, they're good enough that they're going to make open shots, they're going to attack and do the things that they do. And we fell asleep a little bit at the wheel the last 3.5 minutes of that game.
Yeah, Coach, but overall the team shoots a season high 53.8% from the field, 14 assists, so great ball movement there, converting 9 of 20 from three-point range. Impressive for your offense, but I think you go into practice still, you know, stressing defense.
Yeah, we were. We didn't. They shot incredibly high percentage in the second half, especially the last 5 minutes of the game, so we were a little disappointed with that, because I thought in the first half we played sound defense. I think they shot 41% in the first half, which is where we want to keep teams. But in the second half, I mean, they were well above 50%. So we got to, you know, play for 40 minutes, keep stressing that, and our guys got to continue to buy into that.
Yeah, Coach, going into that game, the big note of the game was junior Brent Pegram was 11 points away from 1,000 at Cal U. He already reached 1,000 for his career after his time with you at Wheeling, but, you know, a big accomplishment for him, a 23-point performance, and then, you know, first player in over a decade to reach the accomplishment. Quite impressive for him.
Yeah, he's been great all year for us. Unbelievable accomplishment in less than 2 years, especially this year when you're playing on a team. Last year was difficult for him. It was difficult for the guys, but this year, you know, he's playing with great players, and he's just finding his spots, and he's doing what he does well. He shoots it incredibly well, but he's also making plays for his teammates. And when we're at our best, Brent's playing at a high level, scoring the ball, distributing the ball, and playing great defense.
Yeah, Brent Pegram having a great season right now. I mean, he's at well over 500 points right now, and he's, you know, on a great pace right now. He's between 14 and 15 on the all-time scoring list in a single season, so still a lot of room to grow with 2 games left in the regular season, and you know, we'll see what happens with the PSAC tournament when the seeding pans out, maybe 1 or 2 more games or wherever it ends up going from there. So Brent finishes 23 points, 5 of 10 shooting, 3 3-pointers. Great day at the line for him, 10 of 11. He sinks there. Jermaine Hall, 3rd double-double of the season, 20 points, 10 rebounds, and then a great game from Luke House, 15 points, and 6 of 14 shooting, and he also gives you 5 rebounds and 6 assists in 40 minutes of action. You know, always playing the entire game. But, Coach, like you said before, no Baba, no Zion Collins in the game. I mean, but I thought Phil Alexander really stepped up for you. Gave you 8 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists in his first start since early January.
And his defense was incredible throughout the game. Again, a little foul trouble in the first half, but we gave him a tough assignment, and he was up for the challenge. So the points and everything, that was all bonus, but his defense was what was so important for us. in the first half and in the second half. He did a great job, and I could just see his confidence growing, and it went right on into Saturday for him. So it's good to have Phil playing with high confidence because he gives us a versatile defender, another guy that can score the basketball on offense. So it's good that he's back there and he feels good about himself and he's playing at a high level.
Yeah, Phil Alexander had a great start to the year. Was average around 10 to 15 points a game. He was having a great start to the year. Suffered a little injury setback, but now getting back into a role here as of late. And we'll talk a little bit about the Clarion game where he picked it up as well. But Coach, 53.8% for Cal U in the game. 45% from three-point range. 34 points in the paint, 20 points off turnovers. Like you said, Seton Hill ends up finished in the game shooting 50%. There's a lot to work on there. And they relied heavily on their bench, who gave them 28 points. Okay, Coach, well, let's move on to Thursday. Even though there wasn't a game that day, big announcement for the program as Brent Pegram was announced to the College Sports Information Director Academic All-District team. Pegram is now eligible to be an academic All-American for the program heading in, which will be announced in early March. So we'll figure out, if Brent ends up on that team. It's all voted on by the sports information directors around the entire nation. So we'll see what happens there, but great accomplishment overall for him.
That's great, and that's what it's about. I'm so proud of him. I give him a big hug Thursday or Friday whenever I figured it all out. I'm usually a day or two late on that kind of stuff, but that's what it's about. Brent works so hard with basketball, and he does such a great job in the classroom, and we try to stress that with all of our guys, how important it is when they're here. Obviously, their families first, but then school, and then basketball, and he understands that, and I think that's what you understand when players become great players. You can look in the classroom and see that they're kicking butt in the classroom. You can look on the court and see they're playing at a high level. And he's our captain, so that's leading by example, and that's a great example for all of our young guys to see, hopefully an academic All-American. But so proud of him with that honor, and it's just so well-deserved, and it's all him. All of his hard work is paying off, and I'm so happy for him.
Yeah, it's one of the great joys of doing my job as well, as being able to nominate for the men's basketball team and all the other sports we represent, and Matt nominating for his sports as well. Make sure everybody gets a chance to win an award. A lot that goes into it is a student has to have a 3.30 GPA or higher and has to be at least at the school for a year. Brent was a transfer last year, so he hadn't logged an entire year at the school, so he wasn't eligible for the award at the time, but this year he was. And you talk about other guys that are doing well in the classroom. The team did have the highest GPA in the fall, but it's a very young freshman team that is doing well also in class, but won't be eligible until their sophomore year here at Cal U for that award as well. But first recipient for the program since 2011-2012, so great accomplishment. It's been a very long time, but it's great to have another accomplishment for the program on top of what has been happening this season. Brent ranks third in the conference right now in points per game with 20.2 points per game, while ranking in the top 5 in assists per game, free throws made, minutes per game, steals per game, and three-pointers made per game. So excellent season he is having right now. And he maintains a 3.50 GPA and is a criminal justice major with a concentration in homeland and international security. And, like I said, Coach, he's one of only 5 recipients from our region that got it, from the CIAA, the MEC, and the PSAC. So very impressive on that. Only 5 kids can get it from this region.
It's a great accomplishment. And like I said, he works extremely hard and very happy for him.
So let's move on to Saturday. We took a trip out to Clarion to the new Tippin Gymnasium. What was your overall thoughts about the new gymnasium?
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Very similar to the University of Charleston's gym in the Mountain East. They had a new gym a couple years ago, and they're very, very similar, but they did a great job. It looks great from the outside and looks great from the inside, and it's a good environment. I think the size is perfect. I don't know what it holds. I'm going to say somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 people, and I think that's a really good size for our region and for Division II basketball.
Yeah. I mean, playing in the rec center last year wasn't fun for anybody across the board. I mean, between men's and women's basketball, volleyball had to go in there as well. But it's great that they finished up the gym, and the volleyball team got to play in there a little late in the season, and now basketballs are in there. But Coach, you pick up a win, 79-54 in that one. Cal U matches a season high with 18 three-pointers made on Saturday. Claims their third straight victory, improves to 18-8 this season, 14-6 in conference. A lot of success beyond the arc in this game.
Yeah, we moved the ball extremely well and shot the three very well. We took great three-point shots. Anytime you make 18 threes in a game, you've got to take good shots. And we made the extra pass, and we gave up some good shots for great shots. And we were on from the outside, so that was good. I was a little bit more pleased with our defense. I thought we had a sound defensive effort against Clarion, and really played good team defense as well.
So Jermaine Hall Jr. just stays hot and scores a game-high 21 points on 7 of 12 shooting, including 5 3-pointers in the game. I mean, Jermaine's averaging 17.7 points over the last 6 games for you, and he's had 3 20-point performances. What has been clicking in his game recently?
Well, everything. I think most importantly for Jermaine is his health. You know, he broke his foot last year, so he didn't have a postseason last year. He got healthy and cleared sometime late in the beginning of August, and it was just hard for him. I could tell during preseason his foot was bothering him. He was limping a lot, and I think now his foot is really feeling well. He's dealing with a broken thumb. He's been dealing with that for a while, but he's mentally tough. But he's just playing at a high level because he's shooting the ball well, but he's cutting well. He's playing great defense. Jermaine is so versatile on defense. He can guard a big, he can guard a wing, he can guard a point guard. He gives us a lot of versatility defending, and he's just a great leader. Jermaine has great attitude, works extremely hard, and I'm happy. He's he's a great player who's playing very, very well. I think early in the year it was just, his foot was bothering him. He wasn't 100% and he didn't get the reps, and now he's feeling good and he's playing at a high level, and we need him to play at a high level. He really gives us another opportunity, a guy that can score the basketball, but he passes the ball well, so he brings a lot to our team.
Yeah, he's definitely been a boost dealing with some injuries here and there. He's really picked up the slack here as of lately in the stretch where, some guys have been missing here and there for the team. And as we saw in the highlights there, good game for Phil Alexander again. He comes off the bench, gives you 26 minutes, 16 points, 6 of 9 attempts, 4 3-pointers, and 6 rebounds. I mean, over the last 2 games, Phil seems to really be getting in the rhythm now.
He was, and he came off screens ready to shoot the basketball and was very confident with his shot and drove the basketball well. But he also made other plays. He was rebounding the ball. Again, his defense has been terrific for us. He's able to guard on the perimeter. He's able to guard inside. So he gives us another versatile defender, and he's got good size when he's able to get on the perimeter and guard guys. He's every bit of 6'6", so his length and stuff really, really helps him out there, and it's just good to see him playing at a high level. We need him to continue that.
Yeah, Luke Howe's solid game on the boards, a season high 13 rebounds for him. He also gives you 9 points, 5 assists in 29 minutes. So Cal, he's able to jump out to a 15-5 lead early in the first 6 minutes. They make 5 of 9, including 4 3-pointers, to really build that lead to 29-10. But Coach, as you said, you were very happy with the defensive performance. The Vulcans are up 38-15 at the break. You hold Clarion to 6 of 35 shooting, and they didn't even make a 3-pointer in the first half.
Yeah, we were very good defensively. Our guys were locked in with personnel and not letting them do what they do well. They obviously missed a few shots, but we played sound defense the first 20 minutes of the game. I was very happy with that.
Yeah, down the stretch, the Vulcans stretched the lead to as many as 38 points in the second half, ended up coming away with the 79-54 win. Coach, but as the night played out, we knew that Gannon and Slippery Rock had a game to play. With seeding still being determined, that game did play a big role as 2 teams that were fighting for seeding in the PSAC West. Gannon ends up falling at Slippery Rock. The Vulcans ended up claiming at least one home game in the PSAC tournament for the first time since 2007-2008. I mean, you got to be happy with the result, even though the seeding hasn't planned out yet.
Yeah, that's great. Our mindset is to finish as high as we can at this point in time, but it's nice to know that we will play a home game. We would like to have a bye, though, and if we take care of business, there's a very good possibility, we'll earn that. So we're going to take it one game at a time. Big week ahead of us this week. So, we're happy. Obviously, we're playing in postseason basketball for the first time in a long time, but we want to finish the season strong. We think we're playing for more than just conference right now. We want to continue to play good basketball and see where we end up.
Yeah, we're going to take a break here on the Danny Sancomb Show. We're going to discuss the PSAC basketball standings, the upcoming schedule, and preview this game against Mercyhurst. We'll be right back.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
Like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health
at seizetheawkward.org.
Have you seen the new Cal U Vulcan logo around? Have you wondered where to get gear featuring it? Then go to calvulcans.com and click shop. Log on and browse a full selection of men's shirts, women's shirts, pullovers, hoodies, and more. All items feature customization with the new Cal U Vulcan logo and wordmark. The site also features a full selection of hats, tailgating items, and accessories. Don't be the last person to sport new Cal U Vulcan gear. Go to calvulcans.com today.
Pride and passion drives the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. From 55 NCAA championship teams, 294 individual national champs, and counting. Who's next? Make the PSAC yours. PSAC Proud is winning in athletics and in the classroom. Over 3,100 PSAC student athletes are honored as scholar athletes. It's a perfect mix of athletics and academics. It's time to make the PSAC yours.
Welcome back into the Danny Sancomb Show. We're going to take a look at some results from the past week to see how things have panned out. After Saturday, we saw Westchester defeat Lock Haven 98-83 to clinch a berth into the PSAC tournament. East Stroudsburg picking up a win over Shepherd 89-72, seventh win in a row for East Stroudsburg. Really, things have been clicking great for them. They clinch a spot in the PSAC tournament. IUP picks up their fifth straight win with a very impressive performance over Seton Hill on Saturday, beating them 89-38. And then Mercyhurst defeats Edinburgh by 20 to pick up their seventh straight win. Bloomsburg with a big win over Shippensburg, an unexpected one there. Definitely going to play a role into the regional rankings coming out later this week. And then Slippery Rock defeating Gannon, which we talked about early, locked up Cal U with at least a home game in the PSAC tournament. Third straight win for Slippery Rock there. So we'll take a look at the PSAC West standings to see how everything laid out after Saturday finished up. As we can see here, Coach IUP clinched the 1 seed, so things will be going through there at least until the Final Four is decided. They're at 18-2. Mercyhurst there at 15-5. UPJ at 14-6. Cal U tied with them at 14-6. Gannon 12-9, and then Slippery Rock at 10-10. So all those spots are locked up there in the West, but IUP does clinch the 1 seed and manages to get that, but still a lot to play for all the teams. Slippery Rock still has a chance to even get as high as 5, depending on how the week pans out. Gannon 1 game remaining, so they can't get any higher than 4 at the moment, so they're either going to finish 5th or 6th there, and then we'll see how the rest pans out. As you know, Cal U does have a game with Mercyhurst coming up, and UPJ later in the week does have a game against IUP, so a lot to play for there, and we'll look at the PSAC East here. And we have Shippensburg locking up the 1. I think they locked it up last week, so everything will be going through there as long as there isn't any upsets for the Final Four of the PSAC tournament. 16-4 in conference, then East Stroudsburg and Westchester both lock up a seed there. A lot to play for still for them. Someone looking to get the bye there could be either of those teams. And then, a jumbled mess still at the bottom. Millersville, Lock Haven, Shepherd, Kutztown, and, even a big win by Bloomsburg keeps them in the conversation heading into the final 2 games of the season. So we'll see how that all pans out, Coach. It's pretty exciting on both sides.
Very tight. A lot of good basketball teams. I'm looking at there, we had the opportunity to play Westchester and Shippensburg, had the opportunity to play Millersville, Shepherd, Lock Haven, and Mansfield on that side. And they're very, very good. And then obviously on our side, it's been brutal. There's so many good basketball teams in the West this year, from Gannon, Slippery Rock, Mercyhurst, obviously IUP, and Pitt Johnstown. It's been a grind to win basketball games, and if you don't bring it, you're going to be not very happy after the game.
Yeah, I think this has to be one of the tightest years we've seen in a while. It's coming down to the final game or 2 of the season. The team's playing for a lot coming down the stretch here, and that could decide whether you get a bye, whether you get a home game, or whether you have to head on the road for the entire tournament and try to figure out a way to make it to the championship that way. But still, still a lot of basketball to play in this final regular season as the season has just flown by. We can look at the PSAC schedule heading into this week. Slippery Rock at Edinburgh, Millersville at Westchester, East Stroudsburg at Lock Haven, IUP at Clarion, Seton Hill at UPJ, Kutztown at Bloomsburg. That could be a big game deciding maybe who makes it and who doesn't in that league. Shepherd has been playing well as of late, and they're going to be going against Shippensburg at 8 p.m. But some very exciting games there. Gannon, obviously, with the day off, they only have one game left to play, so they're locked into playing on the road in the PSAC tournament, following the loss to Slippery Rock, and then Mansfield having a break there too. But some very exciting games this week. Could end up panning out who is where and when. So, Coach, let's look into the Mercyhurst game this week. It's going to be a big game. It was a big game when they came in to here earlier. I think it was a game between two teams that were in second or third in the conference at the time, tied. And CalU comes out with a 69-51 victory. A very good defensive performance by the team at home. Held the Lakers to 1 of 24 from long range in the game. But this team has been playing hot as of lately. They're 17-7, 15-5 in conference, riding a 7-game winning streak right now with wins over IUP, UPJ, and Gannon. What's been clicking for this team as you've seen on tape as of late?
They're really good. They're well coached. They play very good defense, and they compete. Offensively, their guards have the ability to break down and cause you to help to kick out for open threes or to drop off for easy finishes. So they do a lot on both ends of the court, and like I said, they play hard and they're well coached. So we need to have great effort and great execution to go up there and win tomorrow night.
Yeah, got the highlights playing from the last game here. I mean, it was a struggle for them from beyond the arc. I think it took them almost till the second half to get one down, but CalU ends up getting out to a pretty good lead, and Mercyhurst was able to work it down to about 10 points in the second half, but CalU kept the foot down and finished out that game with a good win, 69-51. Defending Atlantic Region champions, always like to mention that. They had a great season last year, 11-2 at home this season compared to their 6-5 on the road, so they really would prefer to play at home, and then sitting second would really prefer to lock up the 2 seed, but they got some hard games here coming up. Strong team overall. They're leading the nation in several categories, or in the top 10 in several categories. They're first in the nation in fewest turnovers, 8th in the nation this season with 41.7% three-point percentage, and their scoring defense is 5th in NCAA Division II at 63.3. So, Coach, as you look at that team, it seems like that normal Mercyhurst mentality where they kind of want to slow the game to their pace and dictate what they want to do.
Yeah, like I said, they like to control tempo. And it's easy to control tempo when you take care of the ball. The first thing when you said, they're one of the better teams not turning the ball over. They do a really good job. Their guards do a good job. And all 5 guys usually out there can handle the ball. So they're hard to guard. They do a lot of good things offensively. So, it all boils down to being able to keep that basketball in front and not having to help as much. And if you can do that, it makes it a little bit difficult on them.
So, Coach, let's talk about how practice week as we finish out the highlights here. I mean, how do you feel the teams look this week, and what's the health of the team heading into this game?
Good. We got Baba back, which really helps with his knee. Obviously, Zion came back and played last week, which is always great having him in there. And Tim is finally over his sickness. I had a really good practice today, so I think we're as healthy as you can be at this point in the season. A little bit, some nicked up a little bit some of our guys, but that's just the course of the season. So we've had 2 good practices, and hopefully we're ready to play tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's always the part of playing, home and away games in this league. They definitely pile up here. I mean, we're 20 games in, 2 more to go in the regular season, and still more to play with the postseason coming up here. McKay McIntosh still the guy to kind of watch out for with Mercyhurst, the guard, 5'11", scoring 13.9 points, leading. Doesn't seem like a whole lot of points when you're looking at what Brent's doing, but still solid performances, 2.3 rebounds, playing about 30 minutes a game, and shooting very effectively, 43%. I mean, he seems like the player to watch on this team, Coach, but, they're finding success from being a very balanced team.
That's what they are, but he is really good. Like the 13 points, he can go for 25 on a given night. He has the ability to shoot the ball off the bounce, the ability to finish at the rim, and he's very good in the mid-range as well. And he's good at creating, and they pass the ball well. So all their guards do a really good job at that. Their guards are very similar. They're quick, they're shifty, they're able to make open threes, and they find guys very, very well. So we got to be ready to guard the basketball.
So, Coach, I mean, I know you're the one game at a time always with this team, and I understand that. But let's just talk about it because we do this show once a week. Let's talk about Senior Day coming up versus Gannon, just briefly about Jabbar Ray, as the team will recognize him for his contributions to the program. I mean, what has he meant to your team? I know he's been playing mostly as a bench player, but he was with you last year. He couldn't play due to transferring, but you kept him around with the team. That it's totally replenished with 10 new freshmen. What do you like about him?
Well, Jabbar competes. He practices hard every day. He's a really good player. A very, very good three-point shooter. can defend the basketball. And he's been good. Jabbar's a little bit older, so he's been great with our younger guys. Just talking to him about the course of the season, his different experiences and so forth. So he's been really good from that. When you have so many young guys, to have somebody that's a little bit older that's been in college, he's been done a good job talking with those guys, getting in there. He's very competitive. So when guys come in to shoot, Jabbar is a high-level shooter. So he competes and works with our guys and has been a good leader for us.
Yeah, Jabbar Ray's been quite a journeyman. Kind of made a couple stops in his college career, but settled down here at Cal for the last 2 years, and will be finishing out his career on Saturday against Gannon here. Lone senior on the team, so lone recognition for him. And with a young team, there's still plenty of guys, and be much larger groups coming down here for Danny Sancomb in the future. So, Coach, let's wrap up the show today talking about Monday's announcement. Sophomore Jermaine Hall Jr. and freshman Luke House sweep the PSAC West Weekly Awards. Jermaine Hall selected PSAC West Athlete of the Week for the first time in his career, and the first time the team's received the accolade since 2016. And Luke House picks up his second Defensive Athlete of the Week award, 5th of the season for the team overall. Great accomplishment.
Great week for those two guys. Great week for our team. And I always stress to our guys, they don't get those awards if other guys aren't doing a good job. So obviously with Jermaine scoring the basketball, people are getting him good looks, and he's obviously knocking them down. And then Luke getting the defensive award, defensive player of the award, just hitting the glass hard, doing those little things, and that's what we preach to him. If you're out there, we need everybody to rebound the basketball, to play good defense, and those guys did a great job of it. Not just this past week; they've been really good at it the entire year. So it's nice that they get the recognition for it. For what they did, and hopefully they can continue to play well, and somebody else from our team or those guys can get it again this week.
Yeah, it's great for them to kind of break through. We definitely put up several guys throughout the whole year, and it's very tough in this league. Everybody plays well. It typically takes a 2-0 week to kind of earn the awards from the league, and we were able to have that week this week and pick up 2 awards for the league from the league, and it's great recognition. That went along with now we have 6 people that have gotten Athlete of the Week this week for Cal U Athletics. So great week overall. Everybody performed great. Baseball swept on their end. Women's basketball got a Defensive Athlete of the Week, and then Track Athlete of the Week will be announced here around 2:30. So another big accomplishment there for all teams across the board. But Jermaine Hall ends up getting Athlete of the Week this week. He scores 20.5 points, 6 rebounds a game, 2 assists per game, and then he averages shooting 67% from the field, 7-11 from long range. So very effective shooting for the week. Luke House grabs 18 total boards over 2 games in conference play. So great overall play all around there. Coach will look at the upcoming schedule here. Heading into the final week of the regular season, as we know, we have a game coming up here against Clarion at 7:30 p.m. Or we have a game at Mercyhurst, my apologies, at 7:30, and then traveling out to Gannon for a 3 o'clock game. CU, TV, WCAL on both calls there. And then Monday could be the turnaround day for the team, so very short break, but there's still a lot to play. No seeds are locked up, but Monday will be the first round of the PSAC tournament, and the women are guaranteed to play that day as of now, as the 1 and 2 seeds have been locked up, I believe, in the PSAC West for the women. So they will be playing that day. Time will be determined once the men have kind of figured out where they will sit as well. And then the second round will take place 2 days later on Wednesday before teams will travel to different locations. It looks like the tournament will go for the women through IUP. And then for the men's tournament, it's in the East this year, so it looks like the 1 seed Shippensburg, without an upset, it will be going through there. So exciting week coming up here, and we'll talk. And then we'll talk about Mercyhurst, and that will be it for the Danny Sancomb Show today. And we'll be back next week to discuss where we're at next.